They want us to think that we're an insignificant speck of dust, but let me tell you, we are so much more than dust in the wind.
At least 4 billion useless eaters will be eliminated by the year 2050.
I'm still waiting for somebody to show me gas pressure without a container.
I personally don't believe anything they say, right down to the God they claim they worship.
None of the math adds up.
You could stack up all their math books, all their science books, and even put all their degrees stacked up on top of that, and you still wouldn't be high enough to see the curvature.
This is exactly why grounding is so important.
We see too far.
We're just regular people who know we're being lied to. We're tired of it.
The bottom line is, there's only one choice left, and that's to dismantle this whole thing from the top down.
What up, man?
What's up, man?
I'm here.
He's
What's
in.
up, guys?
You're here because I manifested you to be here. I don't know if you know that, but Bill posted your thing. I don't know if you saw, but my immediate comment under it was like, I want to hang out with this dude. I want to talk to him.
Yeah.
He did say that.
Well, I am here. How's everybody doing?
Good, man.
Good, man. Yeah. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, no worries. So what are y'all talking about?
What were we talking about?
Shit.
Oh gosh.
I don't even remember at this point.
Stand-up comedy.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
old school stand-ups, even though they suck now, like back in the day they were good.
Dude,
You know,
everything's terrible these days.
Yeah.
It's so
Comedy,
bad.
movies, everything. I don't even watch anything anymore.
I know.
Yeah, I can't.
Bad, dude. And then when you know everything behind it, it's just like and you can't go like 5 minutes without seeing like fucking pedo swirls and fucking you name it. Like it's just like geez.
They aren't
And,
trying to hide
yeah.
anything anymore.
No. I ruin it for everybody. Whole family's like, shut it off because I'm just
Everyone, man. All the kids shows.
I
Dude,
know.
Blue's Clues the other day. It was like
I
everywhere,
just
man.
saw the Blues Clues stuff.
Oh,
And the
really?
weird
it's
thing
like
is,
every episode.
Rufus doesn't even have kids. He was just watching that on his own. No, I'm just kidding.
On his lunch break,
Doing
sitting there on his iPhone watching Blue's Clues.
research project. I enjoyed it a little too much, but it was a research.
Yeah, I saw the new one. The new one has just like those pedo swirls everywhere.
Yes, it's the
Everywhere.
new one. It's
Yeah,
aggressive.
the new one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
terrible.
Damn, dude. And you would think, like, are these people not online? Do they not know what's going on? Like, at this point, you can't go anywhere without somebody being like, this is some pedo shit. The FBI says this is pedo, bah, bah, bah. And, like, everybody's fucking kids. And, like, they're just like, maybe if I just slip this one in there, they won't notice.
I like see the thing that for me is I wonder if we're all just realizing it or if they've been doing it this whole time. Like, were we just
they have.
oblivious? Because I don't remember any of this stuff before.
Well, that's
Maybe.
funny that you said that. Like, okay, for instance, Encino Man. You remember that movie?
Yeah.
Dude,
How
okay.
old are you?
How old are you?
I'm 33.
Oh, you're not
Oh,
too
yeah.
Oh, really?
I bet you are. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
How long have you been 33, bro? How many years? No.
Okay. Well, anyway, for those who remember and the people listening, and Encino Man was a movie. I want to say the 90s, early 90s.
Yeah,
like that.
90s.
Yeah, with Brendan Fraser.
Yeah. Was Pauly
and
Shore in that one?
Pauly
too?
Shore,
Yes.
buddy, and
He's in the juice
I don't know.
and such.
and then the other dude from Lucas. Was it Luke? No, not Lucas.
Goonies.
Goonies. Yes, that dude. Anyway, long story short, throughout that entire movie, dude, all kinds of pedo stuff, crazy stuff going on there. Like,
I'm gonna have to go back and
symbolism
rewatch
of
it.
Oh my
I
god,
don't remember any of
Like,
that.
dude. My wife and I the whole time just like, oh jeez, like it's bad. It was real bad.
But I feel like it's getting more egregious, or people are just noticing it more. Even the normies, I know normies in my life that are like, "Whoa, that's
A little questionable what's going on
It's
in
coming
this.
back out
what was it,
because-
Miss Rachel?
So some people at my wife's work told her that she had to watch that Quiet on Set thing about Nickelodeon. So we watched it, dude, the whole thing. All that
that's
stuff
why.
was super sexual.
yeah.
All
Yeah,
of it was
yeah.
like there's scenes where
Yep.
they're like spraying stuff on their face, like all
Or doing
kind.
stuff with pickles.
Yeah, the pickle.
Yeah.
Pickle stuff is crazy.
Yeah, my wife brought that up to me, and she is not into this stuff at all. Like, she is so far removed from it, and she was telling me her friends at work were talking about that. I was like, oof.
Yeah,
It
it's
must
'cause
be out there.
But what's up with that? Why is it all coming out? I mean, it's got to be the algo like feeding it to the normies now too, and they notice it.
Well,
and
I think
it's
they're
like they want you to know.
They're throwing you a tiny bone because that's a tiny little piece of the pedophilia going on, and you're like, oh my god, that's horrible. Thank God they took care of it, and you move on.
Yes.
Yeah,
I know
right.
that people are coming out with it.
On that last video that I posted about like the face dysmorphia thing, where you got
Yes.
like the 2 in the middle and the cross thing, someone was like, "Oh no, not what's his name? The old guy from Gran Torino."
Clint Eastwood.
Oh, yeah.
There's like, "Oh no, not him," and then I was like, "I know, I hope it's not him." But then someone posted a video of him when he was younger, talking about, "Oh, it's okay to kiss little girls," and I was like, "Oh no,
Oh,
no,
God.
not Clint."
My whole life is
Clint.
ruined.
Oh. Dirty Harry. Oh, he was saying it all along. Dirty old Harry.
Yeah.
The dirtiest
I
Harry.
know.
Big 45. Nasty shit.
I know. God, it's
Oh, it's
so
all
bad.
of them.
So
all
now
of
that
them.
we're already a while in, why don't you tell everybody who you are and what you talk about? This is how we roll, man. Sorry.
Yeah, this
We're just like a hangout
dude.
session.
I mean,
If you
I
were looking
guess-
for a professional, you're in the wrong place.
Hey, man, I am no professional. I mean, I guess like my handle's ConsciouSean. I've never really like been into all this consciousness stuff, but like 2 years ago, everything just started clicking. And dude, a lot of people like to attack me and like do all that whole vegan hate thing, be like, "Oh, well, I'm slaughtering this veal for vegans, this vegan veal, whatever." But dude, I was on keto for 15 years. And everyone gave me hate about keto. They're like, "Oh, you're eating all this fat. You're going to have a heart attack, this and that." So I'm used to having the hate for that. And I understand that this lifestyle that I live is hard for people to even comprehend. Like the idea of just living off fruit. But dude, let me tell you, I've never felt healthier in my life. I feel like a teenager. I have endless energy all the time.
Wow.
It's crazy. But I mean, this is a journey that everyone has to take for their own. It's not something that someone could just tell you. You gotta want to do it. It's, like if you were to tell me, "Oh, life would be so much better if you just ate fruit 5 years ago," I'd be like, "Dude,
Yeah, I know. Us
You're
too. We
crazy.
say that all the time. It's like if I say it in my normal life. If you would have told me everything I believe now, 5, especially 10 years ago, I'd feel like I was like Mel Gibson from Conspiracy Theory. Like, yeah, they're allowed to get like, dude, it's insane. But it's
For real,
every
dude. We're
time
all
you look-
adapting.
Yeah,
man.
every time you look into something new, there's validity there. You're like, okay, that's not crazy. So
the synchronicities and everything lately are just ridiculous. Everything just seems to fall in line perfectly at the right time, and it's mind-blowing, really.
Yeah.
And you noticed that too, then, huh?
Oh, dude! Everywhere I go, there's synchronicities, and I don't believe in like that, like numbers and stuff. But dude, I see those angel numbers everywhere I go. Every time I look at a clock, it's like 555, or not 555, but like 1212 or 1010, whatever they are. They're following me, and I don't care for that stuff at all. Like that is not my thing. That's not my lane. I don't care for any of that numerology stuff. But it's following me, so I've definitely noticed it. But numbers aren't my thing. I don't care about that. I'm into like the weird stuff.
How long have you been doing just the fruit, man? Speaking of weird stuff, how long have you been doing like only fruit?
All right, so I guess I'll explain that journey. So I did intermittent fasting for like 15 years and stuff. Never really went past a 3-day fast. Maybe I've done a 3-day fast like 2 or 3 times. And then I came back here because I was living in Texas, and I came back to stay with my dad, and he did a 3-day fast, and I was like, well, I ain't no pussy. I'm gonna do a 3-day fast too. And so I hit a 3-day fast, and then I was like, you know what, I could go longer. And I hit a 9-day fast, and that basically was where everything changed. And this is also where, I mean, I know it sounds crazy, but I don't drink water, because in the middle of that 3-day fast, like day 4 and 5 were probably the hardest, but then 6, 7, 8, and 9, dude, I've never felt more energetic and more alive in my life. But at that day 5, I was like, well, maybe I need to drink something. And I drank.
So you were doing a dry fast, like
it was not a
nothing
dry,
at all.
Well, I mean, okay, so there's a lot of different definitions of a fast, just like no food. So a dry fast is crazy. That shit is hard, bro.
Yeah,
I've done a 24 hours maybe twice
shit.
in my life. That is so hard. But anyways, so in the middle of that fast, like day 4 or 5, I drank a bunch of watermelon juice, and I looked at the ingredients and I saw like all the minerals that were in it, and I was going to drink some water, and I was like, dude, this makes almost 0 sense. Why would I just put all of that like goodness into my body? I feel alive again. I feel like my body has the nutrients that I need. Why am I going to water that down with water? And ever since that day, I stopped drinking water. And then also with the reverse osmosis in water, what happens is when you drink water, it actually leaches your body of chemicals. Just like in a plastic water bottle, it leaches the the plastic. It does the same thing to the minerals in your body, and you just end up pissing them out.
That's the stuff that turns the frogs gay, right?
Yes.
Yeah. What's his name was right.
I mean, I imagine if you're fasting, it would turn you gayer a lot faster too. So you gotta be careful with that.
And one of the things, like my dad, he just recently had a heart attack, but there's what it is, that potassium something in the water that you get from Walmart. They put this potassium, I forget the second part of the name, but that opens up your arteries, and that's like why my dad had a heart attack.
That's potassium cyanide? Is that what cyanide is?
I don't think it's cyanide. It's something that they put in the water bottles from Walmart, like the Great Value water bottles. They put all these extra minerals in, but they're not real minerals. They're like lab-made minerals, and none of that's good for it. I also don't believe in vitamins, because that throws off the hormones that your body produces, because they think that there's more of something in there that there's not, so that like throws off your whole body.
Wow. I can
what
tell
about
you
like
for,
supplements and those things?
I was gonna say for like 15 years I was vegan, and a bunch of other vegan people were like, "You gotta take supplements. You gotta take supplements." They were always sick. I just ate foods that had it, never got sick really. So there's a difference between the way I eat and vegans. Vegans will also eat starch. I don't eat any of that starch, so I'm a frugivore. I really only eat fruit and air.
And air. I mean, dude, for real,
astronauts on the ISS.
No, because all right, so there's in fruits and a lot of other stuff, there's DHA, but DHA is also activated by sunlight. So not that I'm eating air, but it actually allows your body to like photosynthesize sunlight. And I don't have all the science down enough to like actively talk about how all this works, but I also have other crazy theories, like the what was in the shot, whatever it's called, that
death.
Which thing?
The metal. What's the metal called in it?
The thermiazole, the mercury, aluminum.
No, the new one, right?
Oh, graphene.
Graphene is actually the same. It has the same molecular structure as the carbon that's in fruits. It has a hexagonal structure. Mm-hmm. And what happens in the DHA is it has a double hydrogen bond, and that actually acts as like a copper wire that you have in your house, and it allows energy to flow through it. And that's like the whole thing with sunlight. You're trying to get this DC energy from it, and it actually acts as like whatever you call it, the things that absorb the sunlight. The
solar panels?
The solar panels, like a solar panel in your house. But if you have all this DHA running through your blood and it's all connected, that like lets the energy flow through your entire body, and you can absorb the energy from the sun. But I don't have all the science down enough to really talk about it. But
so they were giving those shots so they would turn us into solar panels? Is that what we're doing?
Or no. So
to overheat our asses.
That's their man-made version of it, but they got a bunch of stuff in your body, so they're trying to power this stuff inside of your body so they can monitor you. But the way that they power it is from this excess power. So throughout the day you pick up these excess ions, and that gives your body an overcharge. That's why you ground, because when you ground yourself, your body soaks up all the negative ions, but you have this positive charge. And I'm sure that has something to do with like being able, because dude, I went so deep into this. I looked up parasites and I tried to find out if they could like hold an electric charge, and dude, they can hold an electric charge and share it with each other and communicate through that electricity. So I'm sure they're using parasites in some way to take over, or not take over, but monitor us, because parasites can go through the blood-brain barrier and attach to your brain, and that's what gives you like all your cravings. Cravings aren't like, it's not natural for a human to have cravings. Those are like the parasites telling you, oh, we want this, we want that. So I have a theory that is what they're not trying to push. Oh, you need to do a parasite cleanse because that's their friends. They're actually using that as a weapon against us.
So does this diet help with the cleansing of parasites?
Well, I mean, it's an alkaline diet, so parasites don't like an alkaline environment. They like an acidic environment. So I mean, I did a parasite cleanse and stuff back when I first started, but I feel like I don't have any need for it anymore, because there's nothing that I eat that a parasite would want.
That's so dope.
Yeah, if you're not eating
That
meat,
is.
you're not really getting many things that have parasite, period.
Yeah,
especially just fruit. So
yeah, exactly. And I mean,
So, you know what? I actually did a 3-day fast recently, and I felt great. And I'm really intrigued by what you're talking about, man. It was a pretty cool experience, because I don't think I've ever gone more than like 24 hours without food, maybe in my whole entire life.
Now you know you'll survive.
Man.
You know that you're alive and you can do it again.
Yes, dude. The hormones were all balancing out. I was feeling great at the gym after I got back eating again, but
that
so
also
what about like proteins? You know, what is it that, you know, like if you work out and things, you know, how do you replenish your muscles?
Yeah, Rufus has huge muscles.
I'm more into the idea of using biophotons as energy, because we used to measure energy in food from angstroms, and then they switched it over to a calorie, but a calorie is really just a unit of measurement for boiling water. So nothing that they've told us makes any sense.
Yeah. Whoa,
nothing of it makes any sense, you know?
Yeah, there's that.
Hey, you know, I'm willing to change my way of thinking. So
absolutely
help me out here. What do you do to like recover after workouts and stuff?
I mean, it's really the same thing. I mean, if you think about like a gorilla, like they don't eat any protein, but they're massive. Like a silverback.
Oh yes, that makes sense, man.
And all they eat. So I guess the way that I heard a good way to put it was, when we eat meat, it's a secondhand protein. Those animals got that meat from eating grass and fruits and vegetables. Well, I mean, I'm not a cow, I don't eat grass, right? But that's like the kind of way that I look at it, is we were getting this secondhand protein. And not to mention, animal protein is dirty. It's so dirty, you only burn 59%, and then the other 41%, or whatever the math is left as a sulfuric residue in your body, and your body has to leach all of its calcium, your most alkaline mineral, to fight off that sulfuric residue. So when you eat any sort of animal protein, it's actually taking all the minerals out of your body. Like milk, they tell us that, oh, it's good for your bones. Like, no, it's not. It's actually the worst thing for your bones, because it leaches all the calcium out.
Yeah.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
I learned that from being a hippie vegan. So like, you gotta have more calcium and more protein, and then you look into it and you're like, no, you really don't. This is all back to the food guide pyramid that was paid for.
I was
going to
say, I remember just staring at that in class, like, you know what I mean? Like, just looking at it, like, why do I got to look at this right now? You know what I mean? Seriously, like, why does this got to be forced onto me right now? Like, food groups, all this stuff, like. It just never really clicked, and obviously until later on.
And then there's another big factor with wheat, barley, and rye, like gluten. Like I was like, oh, you people are, I'm gluten intolerant, retards. No. So this wheat, barley, and rye, what actually happens is your body can't digest it, and nobody chews their food enough, right? So when that goes down into your stomach, it like bounces around and knocks off your villi and microvilli, and the microvilli and the villi are what is responsible for like nutrient absorption. So that's why people are nutrient deficient, because their bodies can't absorb the nutrients that they're eating, and they feel like they have to eat more and more. But if you stop eating those three, you should be good. I don't know if that also applies to any other protein, or if it's just that wheat, barley, and rye. There's so much stuff to research.
I would think it applies to a lot of things, because all of regular Americans are overweight but nutrient deficient. So you're taking in way too much food, but you're still not getting enough nutrients. There's something wrong there.
And then if you think about it, that's like a worldwide deception because Asia, they have rice, and then like Italians eat bread all the time, and then we just have a whole bunch of bullshit that we eat. But
we get it all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, think about if people caught on to this too, what that would do to like the supply chain, you know, and how many companies would go bankrupt because of it.
Yeah, but
crazy.
I
it ain't gonna happen.
I was gonna say it's never gonna happen. I don't even talk about it anymore because people just look at me like I'm batshit crazy, and I'm like, well, all right, I tried.
Dude,
right.
well,
The best you could do is just be a living example, right? And then share your story and stuff like that. And you know, some people resonate with it, some people won't. But you get enough resonating, you start tilting the numbers. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, people are gonna notice, man. You know what I mean? Like, whoa, these people are doing something right, and I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah,
and then it'll make you have a second thought about it.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden the food pyramid looks the way it fucking should, right?
It's like a
why it gotta be
just
a
like
pyramid?
an orange, just a
pyramid,
bunch of fruit.
Why is it gotta be a pyramid, bro? Why?
Because, bro,
Exactly.
it's all good. Don't worry about it.
So let's what's up with the lizards, man? Let's talk about the lizzies.
All right. So
because
we're
actually
just getting right into it, huh?
Hey,
Hell
I
yeah.
gotta. Here's why. Because honestly, the way he explained it, because I've always been skeptical. I mean, come on, man. You know what I mean? Like lizard people. Here we fucking go. That's like the quintessential #1 thing that skeptics always want to throw at our face. Look at these guys. The lizards are running the world, and then everything else, right? It's like you got to get past that shit. So like. But the way you explained it with the frequencies things and it changing the perception of how we perceive how they look, that hit me because I'm thinking we could visibly see how frequencies have changed the visualization of objects and things that, I mean, gosh, people are doing it all the time, right?
Yeah.
So
and he piggybacked that video about with the cross and your peripheral vision and their faces. So that to me, they both go together. It's like bam, bam, like deny it, bitch.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think the peripheral thing. I think the peripheral thing is bigger than people think about because I mean, dude, when I catch stuff out of my peripherals, I always catch it. I don't know if it's just my hand-eye coordination is just there, but I always catch it, and I always see other things out of my peripherals. But when I'm looking straight at something, it's way harder. Like I can never do it. So I think the peripheral thing is a lot different.
A lot of people see ghosts and stuff out of their peripheral too, so that's like maybe it's not the veil's not as active over there on the side or something.
Yeah.
But sorry, go ahead.
Have you guys seen John Dies at the End? The movie. It's a super trippy movie, but they deal with some drug that turns you interdimensional, and the only way you can like really see the monsters without taking the drug is to see them through your periphery.
Really?
They're telling you right there.
There it is.
Yeah. So on my post, I get people giving me great references all the time. But there's that TV show. I don't know if it was like a regular person TV show or an animation, but Grimm. And in that show, the main characters, they could see all of these demons that are walking around people, but the regular people can't. And so that's just another example of how they throw that in our face.
There was that other alien show on Netflix right now. It's like the Alien Visitor or whatever, and like one kid can see that he's an alien, but no one believes the kid because he's just a kid, you know. But I feel like that's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, before I saw your stuff on the reptiles, I always kind of thought it was like more of a metaphor for maybe something else,
like the reptilian brain or whatever.
Yeah, or just something that we're not allowed to talk about. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
You know.
So are they actually? Are we seeing what looks to appear like a lizard person, or are these actual people that are of lizard descent or snake descent?
All right. So have you guys heard the original story, the Adam and Eve story?
Yes.
The
old school one with the fruit. And
it's not actually a
no.
snake.
So the Anunnaki, how they came here in search of gold and created us.
Oh, that one. Yeah, go ahead.
That one. Yes.
Yeah. So this is where the Bible stole everything, right? So Enki and Enlil, the two Anunnaki gods, they tried to make us, the humans, and they had this cloning facility in the land of Edon. Now they call it Eden, the Garden of Eden, right? But that was their cloning facility. And Enki's the good one, but Enlil, he's got a lot of names. It's hard to like keep count of all the names, but one of his names was Satan, and he was the ruler of Edon. So this is where the whole like generations of Isis come in, because they were making these clones, these human clones, but these human clones couldn't reproduce. So it's kind of like if a horse and a donkey mated, they make a mule, but the mule can't mate. So their sister, in her sac, or Isis, took one of these babies to term. They created a zygote, and she took it to term, and that was the first man that was made, Adamu, and that's where we get Adam from in the Bible. And then what happened was so here's the reason why Christians, and I don't know if all religions say amen, but for sure Christians. And Lil, he also goes by the name of Amun-Ra. And when he went off after they like made these humans, they're like, oh, we're gonna have these perfect slaves. Enki felt bad because he was like, oh, we made these slaves, and then he added a little extra essence into us. And he said that one day we can surpass them in consciousness. And when Lil got back, he was outraged, and the two brothers almost like caused a war. And then this outrage caused him to say, no one will worship any other god but me, the great Amun-Ra. And so Amun, amen, that's where we get amen. Because if you ask a Christian, oh, why do you say amen? They have no clue, but that's the story. And I mean, all this stuff checks out so much. Like these were tablets that were written in stone way before any sort of Bible was created.
Okay.
That is insane.
So,
and so we're like living out some sort of at this point we're like living out a self-fulfilling prophecy almost.
Yeah, and so they were part reptilian, right? So we have part of their essence in us. But all right, so here's I got this new theory. This one's a little crazy.
Good.
So ain't nothing too crazy anymore, man. You know.
So I don't know if you've heard of like the different kinds of like alien races. There's like the blue bird guys, and then there's like kind of cat and dog ones. And I got this theory because I saw this person's TikTok, and he's like, dude, these furries, like the people that wear the tails and stuff, they're like, these are actually like make up 50 to 75% of the engineering community. And if someone were to like make the plane go down that all these furries were going to a convention go down, then we'd be in a huge trouble. And I'm like, dude, what if, because like they said, like the Pleiadians are trying to help us, or whoever they are, whatever, is trying to come help us.
Oh yeah.
But what if that frequency that they're blasting on our visual cortex doesn't just make us not see lizards, but what if some of us are actually some of those aliens, and that's why the people have those furries, and they're like cats, dogs, and foxes. Like those are the 3 aliens that come from different planets. And it's like, dude, maybe that's why they're so intelligent in the first place. And then that would make sense why because if you're only like not being able to see lizards, it would obviously work for other races too. But
you're a fucking alien, bro. Don't put that shit on me. No.
Probably.
So when we're talking aliens, what are we talking? It's obviously not like space aliens.
Because space is like, I don't know if you've heard, but it's like from government sources, space is fake and gay. So I don't know.
Yeah. So
we have the documents.
Yeah. So, I also have this other theory, because I don't know if you saw that video that I put out about the black sun.
I did. That's what I was going to bring up.
And the moon is
it's all coming
like
together. Keep going.
Yeah. So
he believes in the firmament. I know he believes in the firmament, and he believes in the black sun. So he's there.
So my new theory is, I mean, they've said that when you die, you don't go to the light, because you go
soul trap.
One of them.
We talked about this on the last episode. That's crazy.
Yeah.
This always happens. This always happens.
So the sun is the way that the soul exits, and the moon is the way that you get sucked back in, right? So the sun and the moon are basically portals, and the way that I think that they're spinning around is what's it called? Have you seen the videos where they put that magnet on top of that spinning disc and they freeze it? I forget what the actual name of it's called. But
Yeah.
Ghost on
quantum locking.
Quantum locking. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I think that that's what the sun and the moon are. Is they're two portals that are quantum locked on the other side of the firmament.
Okay.
And there's no alien species. We just get a soul from an alien species that comes into this planet through that way because there's no way to get in or get out except through those portals.
Bro, I have got to show you this picture from the eclipse, though.
Oh,
I mean, dude, if you see this thing, man,
Rufus,
this
you know
ties
what?
up so much with what you had to say.
I went back
now.
and
Crazy.
listened to our Eclipse episode, and you asked me to put that up like 3
Like
times.
5
And
times.
I know, and somehow I kept avoiding
Never
it, man.
did.
I felt so bad. I'm
I
so
just feel
sorry.
bad for the listeners, man, because
Fuck
we
the
probably was like,
listeners.
dude, it's
No, I'm
so
kidding.
cool. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. We never got to it,
I'm
but this
sorry,
shit
man.
is crazy,
I'm
man.
If you have it, you know how to share, man.
It's
Come
exactly
on,
what
put
it
up.
looks like. I'm gonna try to pull it up. We'll see here.
But
Keep going.
So,
It's gonna
yes.
take me a while.
You can shoot it. You can shoot it. Shoot it in the group text.
Hold on.
and I can pull it up.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
have.
let me do it to
Before we
death
move
real
on,
quick.
while we have this downtime, I have 2 questions for you because we're out there, man. I have to ask. So I've seen in your videos you do this hand gesture,
Oh yeah.
this hand gesture,
I mean, man,
and
it's
this
hard
hand
not-
gesture.
It's hard.
Just
it's hard. 'Cause
no,
you got
I
your
know
hands
because
just-
I've
I
done
do it all the
videos-
time.
No,
I do
this
it all
is,
the
This
time.
is what I'm doing. I do it all the time too. I just
Yes.
I do this because I do it to Globies. I have to ask you, do you now, or have you ever worked for a government agency or been a part of any secret group or at all?
Oh man.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, right.
Dude, on our first live
Moving on.
stream, I did the devil thing like
did.
this. I did this. I
Dude.
did them all,
Oh,
dude.
dude,
It wasn't even. I didn't even mean
We've
to.
all done it, and people call us out on it.
Oh,
so I just
every
had
single
to.
Time.
I
Every
know.
single
Yeah.
time. Every single
Yep.
time. They're like, oh.
I
you
just
fake
had to show
worshiper,
that-
You hate Jesus.
Yeah.
mean,
I know
You know what?
y'all's
They
people
mock
hate
us.
Jesus. I know y'all's people hate Jesus, but other than that,
You know what? They mock us all the time using our normal everyday stuff. So fuck them. This is us mocking
Christians,
them.
the Christians
Right.
hate me, but I mean,
Yeah.
dude, I was a Southern Baptist for 20 years. Like I've read
Dude.
the Bible fully more times than people have opened it. So it's the
I
joke
was
to me.
raised
It's a joke to
Catholic.
me.
then I was atheist my whole able to think for myself life, and then I found flat Earth, and I believe in a creator. I don't subscribe to any religion. I agree that a lot of stuff in the Bible it's like a history book, and I believe that they've taken parts out, they've messed up other parts. I prefer the Apocrypha and the Book of Enoch and that stuff, but I'm in no way. I do not support a Christian religion, a Catholic religion, especially not the Catholics. Those
Dude,
freaking
those are hard
pedophiles.
That's a hard matrix to fall out of. That religious matrix, that's got
Yeah.
everybody locked down, dude. They are
Mhm.
crazy. Like they are all so extreme. It's insane.
But
They get
before
so mad.
before we get too far and we forget, so the original thing that made us find you was your thing about bells
Yeah.
and the
Oh, yeah.
reptilians. And I had a crazy thought. I was like, do you think maybe that's where doorbells came from? They
Yes.
They made
yes.
you ring a bell so they could look out and see if you were like, if you want to come in, you gotta ring that bell.
Oh.
You better ring that bell, motherfucker. Oh shit.
Wow.
That's
Okay.
Oh,
crazy.
so the bells make it so you can see the reptilians,
Yeah, it has
It has
basically.
something to do
Right.
with the resonant vibration of the bell and the way that they were, how they were tuned. Dude, it's so hard to find any information on those bells besides they were taken. They have scrubbed the internet of any information of that. I've been looking. There's nothing.
'Cause I always knew they destroyed a bunch of bells because bells were also used for healing. I think you
Yeah.
agree on that part. Yeah.
See,
But-
that's where it was hard for me to break out of, because everyone's like, "Oh, they weren't used for that. They were used for healing." And I'm like, "Yes, I know. That's
Well,
why I said it in the video. I know." But
I get the
But
giant
they're not gonna
bells
hear that
being
part,
used
dude.
for healing in some of them, but there was clearly a bunch of different sizes. Like bells
It
a
just- it
certain
didn't-
size couldn't heal
it-
you as
the
much as a
healing-
big bell.
the
you know?
healing thing is like, yeah, that's cool, and yeah, but it's not big enough. Like, that's not a
Yeah.
big enough reason for them to go around and take all the bells. And then once I thought about that, I was like, dude, that's it.
Dude,
That's
that's
it.
what
That's
made
it.
me want to talk to you. I was like, holy shit, it's been a long time since someone sparked a new idea in my head, and I was like, you just did. I want to talk to this dude. So
Yeah.
that was
Dude.
awesome. Even if you're a goddamn hippie, I mean, it's cool, whatever, man.
I'm not a hippie.
No,
I'm not a
I'm
hippie,
just
but-
fucking with you.
Bro, Ted's
Yeah,
been
that's how we
advocating
are.
about hugging trees a lot lately.
I
so
do.
Don't let him
Sure
give you
has.
any
Right?
shit, bro.
Okay, I will not bullshit before. Like I
Yep,
used to
he does.
think. I used to think it was bullshit. I do not do an episode ever without grounding first, and now I've found that literally, you can ground for a while, but if you ground put your feet in actual sand instead of on grass and hug a tree, it's an instant. You feel it. You go whoosh, you feel it go out
Yes.
of
they try to make it sound bad, like, oh, a tree hugger, but dude, that's how you get the most negative ions, because those trees are so deeply rooted in the ground that they just shoot you up with those negative ions.
Dude, stop making sense. You don't like it when you make sense.
Dude, it's right, man. I was zapped earlier today, absolutely zapped, and I went out before this podcast and spent 30 minutes outside and barefoot in the grass.
It makes a
and I feel
huge
way
and
better now.
anybody listening, when you go out to ground, take all your electronics off you. Don't go out there and listen to music in ground.
Yep.
Leave your phone in the house, leave anything in the house, and go out there and wear clothes that are only one fabric. Don't wear multi-fabric clothing, and go out there and dig it in and hang out and enjoy.
I don't know what you're talking about, Ted. I feel like you should put in your Bluetooth headphones, have your cell phone on blast, and actually you should hug one of those 5G street lamps that they're installing everywhere now.
While listening to Slayer.
I lost these headphones, and I made a couple of videos with my Bose Bluetooth, and dude, that was the first thing that people got on set. They're like, "Oh, Bluetooth's bad for you. Bluetooth's bad for you." All right, my bad.
They're looking for any reason to ignore the message that angers their soul. When people hear something that they're doing that they know is true, it angers their soul. I have found this out being a flat earther. So they're going to look for anything like improper grammar, where'd you go to school, this, that. They're going to look for any reason to dismiss what you just said, because they know if they take it seriously, it's going to fuck up their whole life. So they can't do that.
So this is, speaking of that, this is what made me stop trying to tell older people about it. Like my dad, I've given up, because for them, if you try and bring up any, definitely not religion, that's a no-no subject. But if you try and bring up anything like flat earth, or, oh, they lied to us about this or that, these people believed it for their whole life. So it's more of a psychological thing. If you erase that, then you're erasing their whole life, and they can't comprehend in their brain. So you just gotta
don't
let that go.
Just don't try and convince the boomers. Just love them, man. Love them. They're your family, but do not.
They got us
bad
to this
idea.
point. Well, they got us to this point. We'll take it from here. You know?
Let them live the rest of their life and enjoy it. You know,
the last generation to get Social Security. Let them have it. We'll move on.
That's something they talk about in the Matrix and like Star Wars and stuff. Like, if they're too old, they can't like go on the journey or whatever.
Right.
Well, it's the same thing. Like, if you
ingrained.
Look at it this way: if you've said a word a certain way your whole life, if you're 15 and someone corrects you, you can fix it. If you're 80 and you've been saying the word that way your entire life, there's no way you're changing it now. It's just not going to happen.
Right.
So think of a core belief. That's even worse than a word. So, like, it's hard. It's hard. Like the old dog new tricks thing.
You got to understand, too, so many people put in like 8-10 years of school, right? And like hundreds of hundreds of thousands of dollars, dude, that they can't even pay back in the next 12 years. And you're sitting there and just schooling them, right? And it's everything that the exact opposite of everything they've been taught. So they're pissed. They're freaking pissed, and they're calling you whatever, every name in the book. You hobo, dropout, drug addict, this and that. And it's just like, okay, but all that mess, all that loud noise ain't going to change the fact that you can't prove me wrong. Oh, just, you know what I mean? Like, it go crazy. But it's expected, you know? And like this whole awakening thing, this, whatever this is, because there's, 1,000 different speculative answers for what it is, but whatever this is, this consciousness bombardment is it's a shock to people, man, and it's going to take a lot of time. It really is going to take a lot of time for this to really start getting mainstream enough for people to be like, okay, let me sit down and take this in. But there's people like you out there that are just dumping it and just ripping into, you know what I mean? And like, I love that, you know what I mean? I love it. It's just one after another. And
it's with the confidence. When you say it, you say it as if this is how it is, like it or not. And that's what draws people in, man. I don't care what anybody says. Confidence behind what you say. If you're like, I don't know, maybe you could be this. Like nobody's gonna listen.
There was one thing. It was like on Instagram that I saw it or something. This kid was like, "I'm gonna give you the best secret to any of this stuff. When you make your videos, you have to make it like you are the teacher, because if you make it like you're the student, you will always be the student. But if you're the teacher of your craft, then you can never be exceeded by anyone else."
Yep.
So that's kind of what I do.
Nope.
But anyways, have you guys heard about the Wi-Fi and how AI can take the Wi-Fi signal, come back and give you basically a 60 FPS vision of what's happening everywhere you go?
They can see in your house.
I
They can
posted
see
about
it all,
that.
man.
The
It's
dude
crazy.
talking at the thing like, "Hey, look, here it is." Like, and people are like, "That's not possible." That like, come on,
Bro, no,
man.
it's not
It
possible.
is.
Remember when I busted my phone out on the right before we started the last episode? You could literally, it had the little pulse thing on your front camera that goes off.
Yeah.
And you could actually visually see it on the computer screen. It looked like a straight up Wi-Fi pulse shooting out of my phone.
It was crazy.
It was crazy.
Yeah, I think it's ridiculous how people are like, "Oh, they're trying to set up cameras everywhere to watch us," and it's like, if you just think about
They
it,
don't need
they
that
are
shit.
ready to do that, and especially with everyone who has a phone, dude. They got this.
They're
whole
beyond
world
cameras,
mapped out.
man.
Yeah, they
Cameras
got
are
this
so
whole thing
last
mapped
year,
out.
bro. Come on.
So wait, can you go into a little bit more detail about this? Because this is the first I've heard of it. I mean, I'm sure Ted posted it, and it
No,
probably
you've
might have-
seen it, man. Where they use, but go ahead. They use the Wi-Fi signal and spread it through
so
your
the
house.
Wi-Fi signal, like this is basically how you get the Wi-Fi in your room. The Wi-Fi goes and bounces off the walls and goes everywhere, and they made an AI technology that can read that bounce wave, and it actually gives them a visual, like 60 FPS, like a Looney Tunes cartoon visual every second of everything that the Wi-Fi comes in contact with.
Yeah, anything that
That's
blocks
fucking
the
crazy,
signal.
dude.
Anything
So
that
you're
blocks
basically
it.
seeing
Yeah.
through walls at that point. Is that what we're kind of like that movie Eagle Eye or whatever?
Yeah,
They were
yeah,
kinda doing
yeah.
that.
Because it goes through the walls.
Okay.
It goes through the walls. There's nothing that stops
All right.
it. It's not just the router. It bounces through your whole house, and the AI reads that wavelength, and it feeds it back into the AI, and it gives them a picture.
It's like a heat signature almost.
Yeah, it
It's
bounces
exact-
off like biological stuff and like linen stuff, like your couches and stuff like that. So you'll see the outline, and you'll see an outline of a person. Like he said, it's like a crappy one, but you know where they are. It's
I mean,
close
I don't-
enough
I
to
don't know if
direct
it's
the
crappy.
weapon.
It's 60 FPS.
That's what they
pretty
that's
good.
what they
That's
show
pretty
us.
good.
That
You
Yeah,
said
crappy
like
version.
Looney Tunes or something, whatever he said. Like
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's
It's animated,
pretty-
but it's
that's
60
pretty-
frames a second.
it's enough
Right.
to
Yeah.
target. That's all
That's enough
I'm
to know
saying.
what's going on.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm full of movie references, but it's exactly how Batman caught the Joker in The Dark Knight.
Oh, they show you, man. They show you.
Yeah, it's exactly the
Yeah.
same thing.
Wait,
And
so
then if you go out into public too, then the Wi-Fi signals from the phones bounce off of each other, so they got everything mapped out. Your house,
Yes.
not just your house.
okay,
Yeah, and they know everyone who's in there too.
yeah,
I've
okay,
had
you're
it.
right. The Dark Knight, yeah, you're right. I
Yeah.
do remember that
It's
now.
Where
immoral.
all the TV screens were
yeah.
up there, and
All your
Batman,
phones, everything.
Lucius
Yeah.
Signal.
was
Here,
like,
I'll
another
hit
one.
you with. I'll go one better.
All right.
When you have bad Wi-Fi, they'll sell you a booster,
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
To extend it.
You can-
to extend it.
another booster.
Yeah.
Go get another booster.
Always a booster.
Always. That's a good one.
Oh god, I'm so sick of this shit.
I know. The synchronicities become like headaches. Like, oh wait, hold on, I got a new headache. Give me
Yeah.
give me a
So
second.
what was it that woke you up? What was the first thing that
Yeah.
you came across that was like, something ain't right, I gotta look into this?
So I guess my real wake up was after that 9-day fast. That's when everything kind of fell in. But I started
do it.
before, and so I guess
Nice.
my initial wake up was my ex-girlfriend. She forced me to read it's like the second secret where they talk about the book. I only read the Spark Notes, but then she had me do the Wim Hof breathing exercises. And when I did the first Wim Hof breathing exercise, that's when I was like, oh shit, there's something weird going on. And then after that, I cut out all music and all fluoride. And once I cut out, and I would just listen to like Billy Carson and all of his talks, and then I'd listen to like just like frequency beats. And I did this for a week. And after that week, that's kind of when it all started. And then I came back to Florida and I hit that 8-day fast, and then just like everything came, just everything started to make sense. I saw things that I didn't see, but that Wim Hof breathing, man, everyone wants to say, "Oh, no, that's crazy," and I get that it's you got to do it on your own journey and on your own path, but man, that's real. And so like people try and talk about if you do astral projection, you feel like your body's lifting up. No, if you just do the Wim Hof breathing video, and dude, everything just comes out, and you wouldn't think that you could hold an exhaled breath hold for a minute, 2 minutes, but you can. That shit's crazy, and then you come out just feeling weird. I just made a video about how that's how I recommend for everyone to get into meditation, because I got ADHD. My mind's going crazy. I could never just sit down and meditate, but if you do this breathing video, you can get into that state, and you can start seeing like these phosphorus lights, and that's like what they talk about in all these ancient texts is this like blue and green wheel of fire that you can get into. And what that does for you, I don't know, but I can see it.
I've done it, dude. I've seen it too, man. It's real.
Yeah. So
Who's Wim? What is Wim Hof, or who is that?
Wim Hof is like the old guy. He talks about ice baths, but if you just look up Wim Hof breathing, it's a 10-minute breathing video where you.
Rufus, you got to try it, Rufus.
Oh, I will.
Crazy,
I will
dude.
definitely be trying it.
Jeff, you done it?
Yeah, my little brother made me do it. Sean, you and my little brother would be best friends.
Oh, man.
He grows lion's mane mushrooms, and like he's super into Wim Hof breathing and shit.
Dude, I do it, and so I'll say this: if what it does is where Wim Hof got it from is I forget the actual name of it, but all these like Tibetan monks out in the wintertime, they would have competitions out in the snow, and they would put wet blankets on top of them, and they would do this breathing exercise, and the person who could dry the most blankets would win because your body gets heated up. Wow. And the way that you fall asleep is your body has to drop like 3 to 5 degrees for your body to actually fall asleep. So if you do this breathing method, your body will heat up, and then it'll drop that temperature, and you'll be able to fall asleep instantly.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, I heard you mention that.
Or are you passing out?
Yeah.
No, you fall asleep. What I do is that the Wim Hof breathing will get everything to slow down, and you'll get into that relaxed state where you can actually meditate. So after that, I just put on my binaural beats and I meditate until I fall asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you. I've been kind of getting into that a little bit too. What do you recommend on the binaural or the frequency beat?
You can only do so much at a time, right? I mean, when I was listening to it, it could get a little woof.
Yeah.
Like,
so if you start now, like your brain is a muscle, so you gotta, just like any muscle, you gotta start out slow and work your way up. I can listen to it forever, but what I do is I'll go in and do my Wim Hof, and then I'll listen to that and meditate and do, like I'm telling you, people can't get into meditation, but this Wim Hof breathing will get you there instantly. And I just posted a video trying to show people, because everyone says they want to do it, but no one knows how. So I was like, I'm going to show you exactly how to put the Wim Hof in and put this other binaural beat in. And you go to the Wim Hof video, and right when it's done, make sure the next video in your history is that binaural beat, and you switch over so you don't have to look at a phone or think about anything, and you just go straight into it. But the one that I posted, I posted the actual name of it in the description of the video. There's so many, but there's only some that really will get you there. And that one that has like the red headphones, I don't know, you have to watch the video and read the description and just put it into YouTube. But there's a bunch of them. That person who makes that one, they got a bunch of good ones. And I mean, dude, you just listen to whatever touches your soul, man.
Yeah, baby. Is there a certain frequency that you like or recommend, or?
See, I'm not like deep into knowing the exact things of what is better what. Yeah. Like, I'm not into that. I'm into just finding something that you could feel makes you feel different, and going off that.
Yeah, if you've ever done it before, you can feel it passing through your body. For sure.
Especially the binaurals, you feel it over here on your brain, and then it goes over here. Dude, it's crazy.
It's wild.
I always feel it in my chest too.
And you know, not only that, the first time I know you said you don't listen to music anymore, which is kind of funny to me, because like over the years Ted and I were musicians, but over the years or at least I have drifted away from that a lot.
I mean, I still listen to music here and there. I mean, dude, I'm just a ghetto boy from Florida. I still listen to rap and stuff. Old school rap.
Yeah. Back when there was that talent thing and all that.
Yeah, that talent thing that's not anymore. But that is one way to like break out of that prison that they have everyone's consciousness in, is to take that. Because I mean, dude, they changed the frequency from 432 to 440.
I was gonna say,
yeah.
That's what
So,
I went back to 432. There's a guy on Telegram that converts songs from 440 to 432. Right? Anything you want him to convert, he'll do it for you. And it was like back in 2020, I found this dude, and like hearing something like Boston for the first time in 432 was like, whoa! And dude, I started like bawling.
yeah.
And I'm not even, it was like uncontrollable. I was like, oh my, because I've heard this song more than a feeling probably 1,000, 100,000 times, right? And then again, in that was like, it, dude. I think I actually text Ted or whatever. I was like, I just had this like religious experience for
because
you know what I mean?
If you do that and you don't listen to any music and you just listen to like frequencies after that week, man, you go back to regular music and you just get the ick. You get the ick. You're like,
that is exactly what has happened to me over these years. Since then, I'm like, oh, just shut it off, man. Like, I just don't want to. It puts me in this like constricted place. You know what I mean? Like in a box, almost in a box. Yeah, you're right.
It's like, I don't know how this was what I listened to.
Yeah, dude, it's kind of wild, and you start hearing things you didn't hear before. You're just like, but I digress. But yeah, man, I can feel you on that. Like, and these the binaural beats are awesome. Even like just the healing frequencies and stuff like that, like can totally morph your mood. Like I've been in days where I'm like, I can't do this today. I can't do today. And I just forced myself to listen to like chimes and the glass and all that. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh yeah,
and it resets it for you, man.
Oh man, you can feel it like this. I'm like
the tuning forks and the Tibetan bowls.
Yeah. Now I can only take so much because I'm really sensitive to it. Like, and then I start getting like, it's almost like, for lack of a better way to describe it, like being on like a strong ecstasy. So it's just like, oh, it's too much. You know what I mean? So I like, okay, I'm good. You know what I mean? But like, dude, I feel you on that.
So I don't know if you guys saw the piloerection video that I did, but a piloerection is like goosebumps. And what your hair is really supposed to be is like your sixth sense or whatever. So it picks up electromagnetic frequencies from everywhere and also dishes them out. And dude, I've been working on that forever. It's hard to get it, but that's what I use was those tuning forks and like Tibetan bowls and stuff like that. Because like you said, once you hear it hits you, and then you can like start to feel them creep up. But it's a muscle. It's called the piloerector muscle or something. So if you like work on it, you can make yourself, what do they call it? I don't know, something piloerection, where the people self-generated piloerection. They say that only like 1 in 2,000 people can do it, but dude, everyone can learn. Everyone can learn. What you do with that, I don't know, but it's like Dragon Ball Z. Like when they power up and their hair stands up, that's the piloerection.
Okay, well, when we used to write music, and I know Ted could attest to this, when you hit a part, like, and it was like, everybody knew that was good. Oh, I was like, oh, and you get that up your, you know what I mean, up your spine, chills. I'm getting it right now, thinking about it. Like, oh, it's so good. You know what I mean? Like that feeling right there.
Yeah. 100%. So have you guys ever gotten like you're just sitting there and then you get like a download or something and you get all these ideas that just flood into your head? That's what those piloerections, what you're supposed to like use them for. So when they come, you're supposed to like hold on to that feeling, and then whatever, this is how I figure all my shit out. Whatever comes into your head, that's what I start to research immediately. And every single time it comes up with something new.
Dude, so it's crazy, man. Yeah, you just go on a tear all of a sudden, and it's like everything comes to you. I wish it was like that all the time.
Oh yeah, dude, all the time.
Like, like, oh my god, it's so good, and then you just
it'll lock in, and then everything else is gone, and I'm just like, I'll literally cut for an hour before I play it back again, and I play it back, and it's fucking perfect, and I'm like, oh yes,
that's so rad.
I love that shit. Dude.
I've always had that, and I never really understood why. You know what I mean?
Either. I just thought it was cold or something, but
right, yeah, or they used to tell you that's a spirit, there's a spirit, or that's your guardian angel or whatever, putting pain on you. They had so many, wives.
Yeah, and then you're like, where'd it go? Where'd it go? I'm an idiot again.
Come back.
I can't think of nothing.
You're right. Yeah, those.
But yeah,
those
I mean, as far as whatever you do with it, I haven't really got that far yet. I do know that I think that that's like making the two hemispheres of your brain sync, and that creates more gray matter. But you can create gray matter by just like uptaking more DHA. So dude, there's so much shit that intertwines with each other that I just can't keep control of everything. I don't know.
Well, I would say for me, if you have an artistic outlet, that would definitely be the place to point that,
for sure. And
Yeah, you got to figure out a way to channel it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, some people can't, and
I put it into my videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Right.
If you could channel it on demand, you would be like superhero.
Dude, I did it in my pilot erection video. People were like, "Oh shit, IRL."
You can't keep saying pilot erection though, dog, because then people are gonna get some weird shit.
Before we move on from that, I just want to cover it. So the dude, I saw you did a video pointing out how some dude messed up your stuff, and the guy who you pointed out, I just want to say, I can proudly say I've never posted a video from that dude, and the only reason is because everyone I've watched, I've been like, I don't know, man, something's a little off. Like, I trust my intuition, and something told me that something about his videos were off. I didn't know what it was. I'm not trying to sound like, I pointed this out. I didn't know, but I was like, something's weird, and then I saw you point out how he stole your shit and did it wrong, and I was like, there you go. Justification, that's why. So go into that for a second, just so I feel justified.
Yeah, man. I mean, I saw the video. I was coming home from work. I'm an electrician, by the way, so I shouldn't know any of that. I'm blue collar.
Oh, dude, I did HVAC for years.
We
Me
all
and Bill
are.
have done all kinds of stuff. So
Yeah.
we would have worked
I'm a
right next to
mechanic.
each other. Yeah.
Yeah. The funniest shit
collar.
was I like stuffed my pocket full of green beans, and I work with this black guy who's got all gold teeth. He's like, "Sean, are those vegetables?" I've never seen that in my life. But anyway, I was coming back home from work, and I scroll through and I listen because I'm driving from Melbourne down here to Fort Pierce, and it's like 45 minutes. So I just scroll through and listen, and I hear him talking, and I was like, that sounds oddly familiar. And sure enough, dude, he took my video word for word. And at first I was like, all right, well, I'm going to be humble and just be glad that my content's getting out there. Because I used to listen to him. And at first, he's got good information for people that are just waking up.
Right.
And so I didn't think anything of it. And then it started to irk me. And I was like, go back and listen. I went back and listened. And man, it just got worse and worse and worse.
Really?
And you could see where he's like, oh, this is like true control. And he goes and he tries to do his breathing thing, but his breathing that he does is a voiceover. And then he speeds up his video, and it's 3 different videos in one. And so many other people calling him out. They're like, oh, well, why did you speed it up? Blah, blah, blah. I didn't want you to hear me breathing. And in my head, I'm like, but you were breathing on the video. What do you mean?
That's the whole point of the fucking
And you
video.
were talking about breathing. And you said something about the book he had open. He was saying something, but what he was pointing to wasn't what he was saying.
Yeah, he was nitpicking. He used his erection page where he's talking about sexual erections for energy, and he was like, "Yeah, an erection, a pylo erection." And I was like, "Dude, come on!" Like, I didn't mind you taking the information, but then just like perverting everything and making it seem like you had that information there. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're talking about skin. You're talking about dicks, bro. Totally different.
Hey, man, exactly. To some people, it is just skin.
Just saying. Yeah, but I will not be listening to any of his stuff anymore. I still see it pop up, and I'm like, man, now everything has just been ruined.
Yeah,
and
it's really weird though. Like honestly, I always felt something was off, and I never, because like.
Are we not going to say his name?
I don't know if you look. I don't know his name. It's because I always see it on Telegram, and it's someone else posting his video. But it's like,
okay.
So
he don't need no attention.
If you've looked at our Twitter, you'll know we post stuff that we're not 100% about, but we post stuff that sparks interest. It starts a conversation. It does this. Anything about Flat Earth, I post. I know. All the rest is just boom, boom, boom. Let's start a conversation. Let's do this. Like I posted a thing today about
tactical with it too.
About all these significant events that have happened in April, like tons of them. Titanic sinking, Oklahoma City bombing, the burning down at Waco, all this stuff. All these things happen in April. I don't know what it is, but it's going to start a conversation.
Right.
So, but sometimes I come across something and I'm like, there's just something about this isn't right. I don't know what it is, but every one of that dude's videos, I was just like, no, man, something's wrong. So that justifies it for me. That's all I'm saying.
Discernment.
Yeah.
How dare you with your discernment?
How dare you?
I've had other people say that he's done that to a lot of people too, so I'm not the first one. But unfortunately, his following's too big for anything to stop him. He's already out there. He made it. He did what he had to do. Fake it till you make it, right? I mean, game's got to respect game. He did it.
Yeah. True.
I see you.
You ain't gotta like it, but you can respect it for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I don't respect it, but
yeah.
I see you.
Nice. So, go ahead.
No.
Oh, dude, Death, did you get those photos or what?
Oh yeah. What the fuck, man? This is the
Yeah,
second
we're gonna go back.
episode.
He's like, yeah,
Rufus
man,
is
no
trying to
way
get
we're
these
not
fucking
doing it.
pictures up.
Yeah, bro, I got them right here.
It happened for a
go up.
reason, though. I think it's more important that we talk to
see
you
him on,
about
like,
it
a
and
fade
show
out, he's
you
just like,
this, man.
Wait, but what about my pictures?
He's like trying to hold it up. Look at the phone.
Yeah.
Where is
So
it?
what do you guys think that the eclipse was? Do you got a theory?
If you want to ask me,
Black Sun.
I think.
I
Well,
don't like
I
the moon.
think it's. I
the theory.
think there's a projector beyond the firmament, or there's the Bible says whatever, blah blah blah. Ancient things say there's different layers of the firmament. I think there's a projector beyond it. I don't know what it is, but I think it's like a polarization thing. It's the changing of something. Because it's not a rock moving in front of a burning ball of gas. It's not that.
No.
Yeah,
So
no.
that's all we
Right.
know. So
Right.
I don't know what it is for sure, but I know it's not that. That's all I know. But hold up. Here's Rufus's pictures. So
Yeah, check this out.
So
Yeah, that's
I took
sick.
the picture and I noticed some little artifacts on it.
Yeah.
And so this is actually enhanced a little
Can
bit
I
just to
even
kind of
zoom
show the
in?
different
I can't
colors.
zoom in.
But if you can zoom in,
Death,
dude,
can
it
you
looks
zoom
like
in?
a hooded creature behind the sun too.
I can zoom
But
in.
but this is all
yeah,
the
it looks
stuff
like
that
one
you
of those
can't see
bird-
with the
it looks
naked
like one of
eye.
those bird aliens. If you zoom in, you can see that bird face.
Yes, dude.
Whoa.
Like a
okay.
duck.
Dude, it's crazy.
yeah, look at that.
This is
Pretty
just
wild.
this is straight up just, and I wouldn't believe it unless I
I
took the
instantly,
photo myself.
like-
and you couldn't see this with your
I
naked
mean, with
eye,
the
only with
colors
the
and
camera.
everything, with the colors and everything, you instantly see the chakra thing, right? Your typical
Yeah.
the chakra.
See, it
still.
looked like sacred geometry, but then if you
Right.
scroll in, you can see like a duck face.
Yeah.
Like where
Yes.
that
Yeah.
original
I
triangle.
thought it was
there's
at
two
first. I
eyes.
thought it looked like a COVID mask or something. I was like,
Yeah.
oh shit, there might have been
Oh,
more
no.
to that
Like
than
one
we
last-
thought.
That was their last ditch effort. Like, oh,
Put it in the eclipse.
And then look right behind the sun, though. It looks like almost like a hooded. I'm not saying
like
that's
a-
what it
oh,
is, but that's what it looks like.
it's
man.
it's definitely
me.
wild.
The tip of a condom.
You just don't understand.
We can fall down.
It is. It's the reservoir tip.
That's for that pilot erection. It's the
You just
condom.
don't understand how camera lenses work, Rufus. That's all it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Dude, that's what
right.
we hear.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
literally what we
It's out of
hear.
focus. It's out of
Oh,
focus,
man.
right?
Yeah.
So have you guys seen like the videos of people where they have the moon and then they zoom in and they see that face of a man behind the moon?
Yeah.
Rufus did that.
It's
Yes.
like
That's
a-
Rufus's
it's like a
shit.
terrifying
Dude,
man.
that is my thing, man. I think
Yeah.
it's there, man.
Oh no, bro, Rufus
I spend
has
a lot
the
of
ones
time
on
looking
the
at the
moon.
moon.
You're talking about the dude.
No, I'm talking about the dude who's
behind the
right
moon.
behind it.
Yeah,
Oh,
dude.
that
Big
one.
face.
Dude, is that
Dude.
like?
I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
it's
say right
creepy.
here, reposting that got me 7.6 million views. So I'm just owning it. But yeah,
You posted after me too, and
I know, I
I
didn't
still
even
got
know.
like close to 1 million, but
I posted that video too, and it got like 20,000 views or something like that.
it's so
That's
weird.
whatever.
It's so weird.
All
It
right.
was cool. It
cool.
was cool. I was like, man, that's crazy.
It's
And then me
cool.
and my friend, we trying to catch it. My friend got something that was kind of like it, but not as vivid. That
Dude,
one,
the only
that
thing
one was
that's
crazy.
The only thing is, I will admit, some asshole Globey threw in something that was like, hey, yeah, let's trust the guy that as he's walking outside has studio equipment in his garage. And I went back and watched, and he has fucking lighting equipment and shit. And I'm like,
of course.
Okay, I don't know.
Nice.
Man.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with the moon map theory?
He has
the
videos
map
on that.
On
Fuck
the,
yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
So there's the map, and I feel like that kind of lines up the stuff on the right. The left is people say it's like the extra lands or whatever.
Wait, hold
me,
on. I think before we move on, don't forget this, but I think you need to.
Okay.
I think you need to tell us where you lay because I watched all your videos and I saw we also have to talk about Jogan or whatever it is. We gotta talk about that
he
too.
took it to the way back. He took it to the way back.
Before we go to that, I've seen you post things about the firmament, the black sun, but then I've also seen you post things about space. So I need to know where you lie. I don't care. We'll still be friends. I just need to know where
we love you
lie
either
on
way,
it.
man.
Or if you're just
so
like, I
I'm
don't know,
definitely-
that's cool too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more on.
I feel a hypercube incoming.
Yeah, I'm more in line with the flat Earth theory, but I don't think that. I think that there's way more space outside of our dome. There's
Oh, I do
like
too.
I said, there's
Yeah, me
domes
too.
on top of domes,
Yes.
and the
Okay.
planets
Yes.
are actually luminaries for those other outer realms.
I agree
That's
with
my
that.
theory.
I think about
I
that
agree
too.
with that.
All right.
Up. That's
So
what's
yeah,
up.
Yeah.
we're
All
good.
that
We're in a
content.
bubble. We're
Yeah.
still in a bubble
Yeah.
though.
And you know what? But
Yeah.
Can't argue
we
with
can
that.
A little bit of
all
both.
admit that we don't know.
Don't know.
We know
And you can't get to outer space.
you
You know,
can't
that's
measure
what I
curvature.
believe.
You can't measure rotation. So everything else is speculation. We can't go high enough to tell you
If
what
you
stars
guys
and planets
could
are.
learn how to focus your cameras, then you know everything.
Then
Okay.
then you would be a globe earther. But anyway, so yeah, that's where you are. So sorry, go back to what you were saying before, if you remember now that I derailed it.
Oh yes. So no, it was about the moon map. So
Yes.
Oh, yes,
you know,
moon map.
it does align up the moon map. And then my theory is on the left hand side though, it looks like it's not even looks like. I feel like it's a dude's face. He kind of looks like you. Before I thought he looked like Cat Stevens. Kind of looks like you. Kind of look like Cat Stevens, to be
He's
honest.
like, plot
dog.
twist.
But it looks like a man's face overlooking the map of the Earth from like a celestial bodies kind of deal. And it's funny that he looks like Cat Stevens because I'm pretty sure Cat Stevens has a song that sings about the man on the moon too. So I don't know, something might be going on there.
So I have a different theory. I think that it encompasses everything. I think the people who made it are wrong because my theory just all right. So
Bear with
what
me.
happened-
We're all about speculation.
We're here, bro.
Everything's
Don't
a theory,
feel
dog.
like we're gonna think it's weird. Nobody
All right.
fucking knows. Just say what you
Yeah.
think. It's cool.
So early explorers, I posted a video of this. Early explorers, when they mapped out Antarctica, they mapped it out as a circle, right? But they also mapped it out as not ice. So I'm guessing that what happened was whatever flood theory you subscribe to, whether it was Gilgamesh or Noah, whatever, what happened is when the waters rose, it pushed the oxygen up, and it's the ozone 3, and the O3 was frozen. That's what the firmament is. It's frozen oxygen.
Yep.
Okay.
And what happened when the floods is it pushed up all the oxygen up to the top of the firmament, and the denser oxygen that froze came down and encompassed our realm, which pushed up an ice wall. So what's actually the land that we say is missing or underwater, the reason that it's underwater is because that 30% of oxygen that they say we used to have that is now missing was turned into sky ice, but sky ice is denser than water. So frozen oxygen is like, depending on how dense it is, like 2 times denser than water. So when it pushed down, because it rose up, the sky ice
It's
froze,
twice
pushed
as
down
much
the side.
volume.
Yeah, so it pushed down. So if we melt the Arctic wall, then technically we should lose water, and everything that is buried underwater will come. The water will sink, and we'll see. That's why they have pyramids underwater, because they didn't used to be.
That's what
underwater.
I'm saying. Yeah, the evidence is there that it obviously there's some sort of flood.
So that's what happened to the oxygen. What they say, people in the Bible, they're like, Noah lived to 950 years because the oxygen was more, but the flood got rid of it. That story makes no sense. How does just the flood get rid of the oxygen? The water's above, it drained down, and that scientifically doesn't make sense.
Wouldn't it make more oxygen?
I would suggest that you follow Keith K on Twitter. I'll send you his @. he's a Tartarian advocate, but he will not post or say anything if he doesn't have receipts for it. And a lot of the stuff you're talking about, he has receipts for. And I'll send you the thing. You'll see.
Well, dude, something just came to me too. Something just came to me about the whole climate agenda too. Since what you said about the what is it, 03?
Yeah.
So, you know, the way that the science would work with that would be like carbon monoxide is kind of like a unnatural toxic element, and it would actually go and bond with O3 molecules, turning into oxygen, right? Because O3 probably isn't natural either. So the one oxygen molecule would bond with the 3 oxygen molecules, turning it into O2, which is oxygen, and that would melt the O3 layer and cause kind of a phenomena what you were talking about.
But that would
and I don't think they would want
then
that,
the
right?
firmament would dissipate, and they're like, "Oh, we can get out of here. We're free." But all right, here's my theory.
Okay.
Oh yes.
So CO2. The reason that they're worried about the CO2 emissions is because the CO2 goes into the water. What happens when it goes into the water is it reverts the alkalinity of the water and turns it more acidic. And more acidic water melts ice faster. So if the ice in the Arctic melts, it will release all that oxygen up into the atmosphere. But and not only that, I think that's why they have the Arctic Treaty, because all the elites go up there and they get the sky ice and they just let it evaporate and they breathe in the free oxygen. That's how they try and live so long. That's what the club's all about, is using that sky ice. But they don't want us to live longer because they got us in this perfect little worker space where they get to just use us. So that's why they're worried about the CO2 emissions, because it's turning the water more acidic, which is going to melt the ice faster. And they're trying to say that, oh, if it melts, we're all going to drown. But the opposite.
Yes, opposite. And where are you at on like the water memory deal too? Because that's like ancient ice, and it could be melting that and then causing us to have more of an awakening.
Well, so, you know...
yes.
So Dr. Momoto,
the
guy who did the ice challenge.
I love that. I'm getting ready to do the thing with rice, by the way. I'm gonna do the experiment with the rice just to show people that it's real. But go ahead. Same thing, rice, water.
So this is where we get prayer from. Because what everyone used to eat was fruit, and fruit is 80 to 90% water. So that's why you pray over your fruit. So you're giving that frequency to the fruit and blessing the fruit and creating that structure, that crystalline structure in your food. Because, I mean, you're praying over a cheeseburger, nothing's going to happen. But you're praying over fruit and putting that frequency into the fruit. You're going to structure that fruit, and so then you'll have that H3O structured jelly water that you take in for hydration. And that makes sense for prayer.
Dude, you got me so excited because I'm about to plant a shit ton of fruit trees in my backyard.
I know. I'm getting ready to up my garden too and do some stuff in my yard. So I'm excited about it.
I love eating fruit too, dude. Like I would eat only fruit.
What's so messed up is I remember when I was a kid in South Florida, where I live, there used to be fruit trees at tons of houses. There was orange trees, banana trees, mango trees. It's rare you find any of those now. They came through with the citrus canker and said, "Oh, we got to cut these down. You got the canker. We got to cut them out." Everyone else, they leveled the lots with a bunch of trees. It's ridiculous. It's hard to find them now. I have one mango tree in my yard left hanging on, and I have to cut down a palm tree I have near it because palm trees suck up all the freaking water, and this mango tree can't grow. So. Fuck the palm tree. The mango
and now you guys got lizards falling out of trees down there.
Oh, dude, if you guys see
that's
the orange lizards, the orange lizards that have taken over, the big massive ones that used to be here, dude.
I'm in South Florida. We're like an hour and a half apart, I think. I don't want to say where you are, but Bill told me kind of where you're at. So we're close.
Yeah.
We're close.
Yeah, I heard.
One day.
Yeah, I'm in Central Florida, so
it's gonna be a meetup of epic
where there was
proportions.
once just groves and groves of natural growing oranges is now Mickey Mouse Club.
Yeah. Hey, so if Bill and I plan a trip to Cape Canaveral, do you want to meet up with us and go?
Sure. That's where my grandparents used to live there, right in Cocoa Beach.
Our whole plan
we'll go
is
right to NASA and just start asking some questions.
Right.
Yeah,
How
yeah,
long
that's-
until we get booted? That's the goal. I'm thinking like 20, 25 minutes tops.
Just bring your
But-
selfie stick with. You're good.
I know.
I mean, we
Print
can
up a
we
fake
could
press patch. But go
Look
ahead,
like
sorry.
one of the
Yeah.
normies.
we could totally like sneak in and be fine.
Dude, if
Oh, no,
I
they
wear
let you.
long
They let you take
sleeves
tours.
and a collared shirt and stuff and look nice, they'll let me
It
get
would definitely
far
be
enough,
harder to get into the Tesla site.
but-
But NASA.
Just
Yeah.
wear a
Oh, yeah.
NASA. You gotta wear a NASA
He has a
t-shirt.
good point. He's got a great point,
Yeah.
dude.
That's,
SpaceX
Elon
locked
will
fuck
see us
down.
coming a mile. He's like, nah, man.
that's what Tesla's for. It's because
We
you
will-
can't get FOIA and you can't get on the grounds. There you go.
Yeah,
You
we'll
have Tesla
shoot
now.
your ass.
Oh man, this has been awesome, dude. I mean, is there anything else that you want to talk about as far as like what I know. Otherwise, I know Ted's got some questions like as far as
I
we
always
usually
do.
ask
I
other
always
people,
do like a rapid fire, or I try
Right.
to always do like a rapid fire with people about questions. But there's got to be more you're passionate about. Tell us what
do you want to drive
if
home?
there's one thing you want people to know. What are you most passionate about? I see you do videos on chakras, on
Right. Yeah, exactly.
all that. I want to know what's closest to your heart.
Oh man, I mean,
All of it.
yeah. I mean, there's nothing really.
It's,
too
I know it's
specific.
hard. It's hard.
There's a lot, but I mean, just I guess being authentic is where like true inspiration comes from, because a lot of people don't know what authenticity is anymore with social media and all this. Everyone's like, oh, I don't know if I'm doing this right. Will people not like me? Will they like me? I'm at the point where I don't give a fuck what people say. But everyone, their whole mindset is like, oh, they're doing this for likes, or will I be accepted for this or that? But I mean, everyone's like, oh, the highest vibration is love, but it's not. It's authenticity. So as long as you can be true to yourself, you'll get somewhere in life.
Yeah, boy.
Authenticity, bro.
You got that number, Ted?
Just be real, man. Be real.
I know
Don't
he wrote
worry
that down.
about.
I know he wrote that down. That's
Don't
great.
worry about the thought police. Trying to
Yeah.
control your language and everything.
Yeah, I mean,
man.
even family, man. Like, you
Yeah,
want
it's
to
rough.
help out your family as much as you can. I feel like I could help my dad get healthy and all this stuff, but he's like, oh,
He don't want it. Yeah, he don't
blah.
want. My dad's
So,
the exact same, dude.
That's like one of the ego deaths that you got to go through. People can't be helped unless they want to be helped, and you're here to discover yourself, not to help others, really.
That's right.
And, so
And
you
at the
gotta
end of
get
the day, this is just like a flash, right? Like in a blink of an eye, we're all on to the next thing, and it's like
Yeah.
you want to just enjoy that time.
What do you think happens when you die?
me.
Yeah,
You?
you're the guy. You're the guest.
Yeah, bro.
Well, I mean, I believe in reincarnation, but I also believe that this is my last laugh on this bitch. I'm not coming back. I learned my lesson. I did what I had to do. I'm here trying to teach people and help people. I feel like there's nothing for me to come back to. I feel like once you've actually like achieved consciousness and you're aware of everything and you don't live in that same sediment lifestyle, that you beat the game. And now it's just like San Andreas. When you beat the game, now you're just walking around doing whatever you want to do. Obviously not being a bad person or anything, but trying to help others until your time on this realm is up, I guess. Dude, I don't know. I don't really know.
Right.
I have
That
no
sounds-
clue.
I don't
that
have
sounds
all the
good to me.
fucking answers.
Yeah. Yeah, especially the whole soul trap thing. You're like, but you're still saying there's a 50-50 shot here? Like, I gotta gamble at the last minute.
I might be back. You don't know.
It's like,
No,
can I have a minute? Can I try to work this
No.
out?
Yeah.
once you wake up, you have one more reincarnation left, and that's when you come into the world knowing shit as a baby already, and you just wake up like, fuck.
Yeah.
You go over and you slap the birth certificate out of the doctor's hand.
I don't want one of those. I don't want that.
That's my trust, bitch.
Don't put that shit in all caps. I'm out of here. So let me ask you before we get too far. I'm gonna do a little quick questions.
Alright.
Chemtrails. What's your thought on those?
I think that there's no way that a regular person does it. I think if there was a job that one of the reptilian lizards had, that would be one of them.
That's funny because I've said before that I don't believe that any pilot, anybody would spray something they knew was poisonous in the air if they had a family. They wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
I don't care how much you paid them. I don't care. So either there's an antidote for whatever they're spraying, or like you said, they're not human. So
The drone, it could be drones. That's what I guess. Probably
yeah, it could be that. It could
It's
be,
reptilian.
but somebody's
It's
got a
reptilian, bro.
program.
reptilian. Yeah, it don't
No.
affect. And whatever those chemicals are, obviously don't affect the
It's
reptilian.
fucking lizards, Rufus.
God damn it. So okay, what's the next one? Tartaria. What do you think about that?
I mean,
Old world.
I'm not too infatuated with the subject.
Right.
I mean, I understand like they have
I
cool
guess
technology.
a better question is history. Do you believe that history is bullshit?
There you go.
Like, who
History
cares
is
what the label
History is his story.
Yes,
His story.
okay.
They
That's-
change
I
it
think
to fit their agenda.
I'm gonna make a note to adjust my questions for that because Tartaria is
There's a specific part
irregardless.
of
No, but
Yeah, I
It's
saw,
irregardless. Stupid.
I think her name's Bianca Rule. She had a really good theory on what happened with the mud flood in Tartaria. If you have sand and you blast oxygen under the
Yes.
sand, it becomes quicksand.
I saw that.
And you did,
I posted about
So-
it like a year ago when I had 2 followers, so no one saw it. So it's cool.
before you bought all of yours.
I know.
Yeah.
I love that one.
Dude, that's so funny because there was this one dude who spent he made a 5.5-minute video about how me and Bill bought followers, about how all of us did, and I was like, dude, you can buy followers? Like that's how that's how clueless I am. I was like, you can buy followers? Fuck.
Art route.
That would have been way.
I think I
fucking
know
easier
a few
than this
people
shit.
might have bought a couple followers. But,
I did.
So that would mean though, with the mud floods, do you think it would be something that was done man-made or reptilian-made?
Oh, yeah.
I guess,
if you
or
think
would it have
about-
been like?
If you think
you know.
about like those underground tunnels that are all over, all they had to do was take a huge air blast
Yep.
and shove it through all the tunnels because they're already there. So that would cause everything to flood.
So
Well,
what?
flood.
So what do you think about
That's
the?
why I thought it was a metaphor.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Right.
great
Because of the tunnels.
the great
Yeah.
year, like the Prague clock, I forget 20-something thousand years, the pole shift that explains blah blah blah,
Yeah.
all that. I'm sure you know about that. What do you think about that?
Yeah. So I was a pole shift believer, but now I'm not so much. I think it happened, and now they're just pushing fear porn on everyone that it's going to happen again. But
Well, everything's
think-
fear porn for sure.
yeah,
That's-
Right.
I think that we have passed all the times of trial and tribulation, and that this is finally the time where we can take
Yeah.
everything back. I think that that story of the pole shift was a story, and it did happen, but it doesn't mean it's going to continuously happen.
Yeah.
I did also hear that those islands that had those huge face sculptures in Hawaii or something.
Yeah,
I
no, I
forget
know
what
what you're
the name
talking
of them.
about.
So
I know what you
those
mean.
those are supposed to be connected to it. They're supposed to be turned on to keep the pole shift from going any further. But I also heard that those things got burnt down. Rocks got burnt down.
Yeah.
Always burning them fucking rocks down.
Well,
dude.
they are buried. There's like a whole bunch of stuff
Yeah.
underneath it, maybe even
Yeah.
a whole body.
Yeah, they're full bodies. It's a full body structure.
Mhm.
And it had it buried.
Was
But,
it
I mean,
Solomon Islands? Was that it?
It's some islands. I don't know the exact name. I never looked too much into it. I mean, there's so much stuff. You gotta kind of stay
Right.
focused.
You know, I
or
didn't
else you
think
get lost
about-
in the sauce.
I didn't
Yep.
think about the pole shift too much because I mean that would mean that there would have to be 2 poles, right? I don't know if I buy
Yeah,
into that.
One
Yeah,
pole could
yeah, so-
shift. I mean,
Hey.
I mean, I won't lie. I won't lie.
That's called a pilot erection.
That's called pilot erection.
I won't lie. I was definitely trying to come up with ideas and solutions to survive a pole shift when I first heard about it. I was
Right.
like, dude, we just
Yeah,
gotta
it sounds
get as
terrifying.
many 5-gallon jugs together as we can, create this raft that has like a bunker in it. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. I swear.
Surf the wave, dog.
Oh yeah.
But now,
Yeah, that
now
might
I'm
be
not
right
so
there
sure.
with climate change. Anything that's allowed to go on the mainstream television, I'm just like, yeah, no, at this
Yeah.
point. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like,
Hey, I'm scared that they're gonna take down every single one of my videos. I've had to fight and appeal for every single video that I have up on TikTok.
Right,
Dude, they are
right.
not nice people.
no,
Yeah.
they certainly are. And I'm surprised, dude. You're going strong. You got a good, solid following. It
I
seems.
put
and
I
then-
put that warning up. I started putting that warning because they started
Oh,
taking
yeah.
all of them down. So I put that warning up in front that says just just
entertainment
so you
purposes.
know, entertainment purposes only. Yeah, I did that, but then the other one, that last reptilian one, I didn't put it in. I was gonna like steal that from the last one and put it in, but I was like, I'm not gonna do that. I'll just leave it. Because now when they say, "Oh, this is misinformation," I'm like, dude, my thumbnail says the warning right there.
Right there.
They
Right.
can't do anything about it because it does.
Yeah.
Well, apparently we're not gonna have to worry about TikTok for too much longer, anyways. So,
Well,
Yeah.
okay. So here's my thoughts on that. That's what
Yeah.
happened back when Trump was in office, and that was just a political scam to get people to like him. So why wouldn't Joe do the same thing?
Right.
I mean, America,
and
America
why is it
owns
still on?
TikTok.
I think
America
it's.
owns TikTok.
I have a better theory. Well, I wouldn't say better theory. That's the wrong way to say it. I have a more positive theory on it, and that's for people to actually go there, right? Like, because everything you're like, whoa, what's all right? So why are they going to tear this down?
Yeah,
You
I
know what
better
I'm
go
saying?
look at it before.
Right, exactly. And all of a sudden they're like, whoa, you know what I mean? And they start getting bombarded with more stuff. So that's more or less my.
Why
Why
is there a 4 billion flat Earth searches?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're watching. They're watching.
What is this dude eating bells and lizards?
Yeah.
Helen, get in here.
So what do you think about like terrain theory and germ theory?
Like, explain that a little more.
Like, do you think real germs exist? Because with the Spanish flu and all that, they literally did tests where they had sick people spit in the faces of healthy people. They extracted their sputum and they injected it in their veins. They did all these things and they could never transfer a quote unquote germ from one person to another person. So there's a theory that it's your terrain, it's your atmosphere,
your energy.
It's every year we all detox. That's the flu season. We all detox all the stuff that's in our body. We go through and we push it out. Yeah, in the fall. And also that's why it links up just like
he's like, oh yeah, I got something for you.
Just like females' periods link up when you're in the house with somebody and they start detoxing, you start detoxing also because it kicks in.
It's like we
in
send
the
out
drive.
signals.
And they've never once isolated a virus. They've never once proved that it existed. They can't transfer it. So in my mind, viruses don't exist. It's exosomes from our body. What do you think?
So I think, first of all,
I think you're batshit crazy. No, I'm kidding. Go
first
ahead.
off, I think that so what happens if you get sick is your body gets those antiviruses and it fixes itself, and that's it. You won't get that germ or bacteria or sickness again. So them giving all these solutions just makes it so that your body can't produce that antivirus anymore. But to being sick, what sickness is you get so your lymphatic system is your drainage system for your whole body, and it drains all the chemicals. What happens is people don't eat right. They have this positive ionic buildup, which makes it so their body can't flow properly, and then in your lymph nodes, all this toxic lymph gets stored up, and during the wintertime you're not moving as much, you're not going outside to move or anything, you're really just stagnant, so the stuff stays there. And when the summer comes, everyone gets more active and their lymph starts flowing, and that's why when summertime comes, everyone gets that spring flu or whatever, because you're outside being more active and your lymph starts to drain all of that toxic stuff that's been built up inside of it.
So we're basically on the same page.
Yeah,
basically, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's really a disagreement there.
No, I mean, show me a virus. Show me one.
Yeah.
Show me an isolated virus. Show me an isolated.
You
COVID
saw it on the
virus.
news. You saw that on the news.
saw it.
It looked like a prickly pear or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looked like something Sean would eat for breakfast.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that there's one thing that you could do that will kind of like show that in a way, like, you know, those massage guns. What you could do.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why you would want to do this because you make yourself sick, but you can drain your lymph nodes with that massage gun. And this just happened to me a couple of days ago, dude. I slept for like 11 hours. There's like 2 days where I felt terrible, but that's because I used it on all my lymph and drained out all my lymph. And all the toxins got opened up. And I've done it multiple times before, and my dad did it. So now I'm like, all right, well, now I know for a fact.
But that's what I think
does.
happens when you get to flu season or the summer cold, whatever schedule your body's on. That's when your lymph nodes release all the toxins they've been holding.
Yep.
And actually,
What do you think cancer?
fasting helps with that because When you fast, your body stops processing food and it goes after all those dead cells and eats them up.
Yep.
So you don't get sick as much. So you don't even know what we're talking about, bro. Because I don't even know when you've been sick. So you just eat fruit. You're good.
Yeah.
Do you have a theory on cancer? What it is?
Yes. Well, I have a couple. Cause I mean, I don't really know, but it could either be so it's, I think more so what cancer is your body gets all these toxins flowing through the blood. This is also how you get your fat. So what your body does is your body pushes it to your skin, and that's how people get fat, because all these heavy metals and all these toxins in your blood, your body's smart. It doesn't want that in your bloodstream, so it's trying to save you, and it pushes it to your skin. That's why, because I was on keto, so this makes sense to me. So that's what ketones break down as your fat, right? And so what people are burning on keto is actually that toxic fat that your body pushed away from its bloodstream to save you. So you're really burning the most toxic kind of fat fuel that you can. But when you're eating fruits, there's only glucose and fructose. Glucose goes straight into your bloodstream for ATP, and the fructose gets stored in your liver as fat for energy supply for a later time. So that's where the ketones are produced in your liver. So right as they come out, they can break down that fat that's made out of minerals and vitamins and all sorts of good things. And that's what clicked in my mind. I was like, well, why would you want to burn that toxic fat when you could just burn the fat that's made out of antioxidants and minerals? So that also clicked in my mind.
You think that's why a lot of people feel like shit on keto?
I mean, I felt great. I
At first, I feel like at first,
right?
though, you get sick.
When
Oh,
they
yeah.
talk about like the keto flu or whatever.
Yeah, I
that's
never
real.
Then, so
it is real, but I never got it.
Yeah, so if you're like long time keto, what happens is your kidneys start to shut down, and that's why you need salt on keto. But I don't like salt at all. I'm against salt.
I saw a video about that.
Salt
Yeah.
pusher. But on keto, so what happens is your liver shuts down and it starts flushing out all the salt, and then it also starts flushing out all the other minerals. So that's why people are like, "Oh, I need my minerals," but it's like, dude, you can get your minerals from fruit, and also when you're eating like all that protein, it's destroying all your villi, so your body can't actually absorb any of the minerals that you're putting into it.
So for real, all you eat is fruit.
Fruit.
Like, what's the best fruit?
Okay, so that's another point that I was trying to make. So. Hydrogenous ketones are derived from raspberries. So not only does fruit, and the fruit is part of the ketose chain, so you can eat fruit and still be on keto. I made another video about this, where if you eat these monosaccharides, they're already in their simplest form, so your body doesn't have to break them down. So you stay in a fast and your body's producing ketones at the same time. So I've basically been on like an unlimited fast for 2 years. Well, I mean, I still eat some like disaccharides and other vegetables, so I guess I haven't been straight just on monosaccharides.
You devil, you.
And do you juice or do you eat the fiber too?
Yeah, I eat the fiber. I mean, I make smoothies, so I'll take like 2 smoothies to work with me. And I mean, I'll juice. I don't really juice, man. I like to eat. So if I juice it, then I don't have anything to eat, you know? So I still like eating food and feeling like I'm eating something, but I do juice some things. I'll make like a ginger, celery, lime cocktail that if I ever feel like I'm not feeling that great, or I want to wake up in the morning, I'll take a sip of that. But that's the only thing that I juice. Other than that, dude, I'm eating.
I bet. Can you flex for us real quick, dude?
I got a jacket on.
It's like, I was anticipating this question. Yeah, I wore a jacket.
He's like, I ain't trying to put anybody down. Was there any other machine gun questions you had there, Ted?
I mean, I always have some. I guess. I mean, we went over chemtrails, moon map, germ theory. We went over a bunch of stuff.
Tartaria, flat Earth.
What do you think about giants?
9/11.
Giants.
So I do got a theory on that.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So I think that there's a great possibility that we are the giants, and they got us looking for these giants and showing these big bones to make us think that we're not as great as we are. And the only other thing is we're basically demigods, right? We come from the gods. They tap their essence into us. So we are demigods, but the reason that they got those bigger doors is because there's still titans, and the titans are bigger than us.
There you go. So dinosaurs.
His face.
I'm just saying.
Dude, bag them out, man.
Chick Rex. If you look at a chicken skeleton and a T-Rex skeleton,
Yes, dude,
they're
you
about
couldn't
the
tell the
same.
difference.
They're about the same. So I mean, Chick Rex or Ostrex, an ostrich looks like it too. So.
Well,
Yeah, you ever seen a rabbit skeleton too? That thing looks scary as shit.
Dude, all skeletons are scary. But dinosaurs, man, they came up with dinosaurs and dinosaur bones just to push the fossil fuels so they could say that it was rare.
Yes.
That's the only reason that they had that.
boom. Manufacture scarcity. That's all they
Listen.
fucking do. I hate these fuckers.
So if
It's
dinosaur bone
decomposed
caused...
dinosaurs.
Yeah, right.
Take
but
it
then
easy,
how are there
guys.
still dinosaur
Yeah,
bones
yeah.
then? If the decomposed dinosaurs cause the fossil fuels, how
Okay.
are we still
I
finding
guess
them?
It takes a really long time.
I
Don't
guess,
Okay.
speak any of that logic
can't-
here.
5
Don't use
million
logic here.
years.
I guess this leads into evolution. What do you think about that?
I don't believe in evolution.
Neither do we.
Yeah.
At all. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is.
I mean,
It's absolutely ridiculous.
There's
and I
micro
also-
evolution, like things adapt, but there is not macro evolution.
Yeah, there's
period.
survival of the fittest,
exactly.
but that's about it. But I also think that they added like 1,000 years
Yep.
into the past, whatever, because like in the Roman Empire, they just added an X. They added an X so that they could create whatever history they wanted, so the time looked like it was longer than it was, and people believed what they've been telling us for longer than we have been.
So,
The Roman Empire, huh?
that never
Yeah,
existed.
yeah.
Go look at our episode with Lucius Aurelius or whatever his name is. It's so hard to keep track, but he thinks the Roman Empire never existed. There's no dates on their money. There's a bunch of weird stuff. Go back and check it out. But so, what do you think about nukes? Do you think nukes exist?
Not really. I mean, there maybe
I
could,
love
but
this.
I don't think that they actually use them if they do have them.
Okay.
I mean, the Fukushima stuff, I've seen so many different videos on how they just said that they made it look like that.
Yep.
I forget whatever.
And they're clearly edited. The cameras stayed while building.
Oh yeah, have you seen
That
the
is the
video
baddest
of the
camera
behind
ever.
The blast? The camera
It's
behind
so
the blast
good.
and it takes the whole building down, but the camera's okay.
Why is
The camera's
NASA
okay.
so worried? Why is NASA so worried about the P1000 when they can have that?
I know.
That
Yeah,
camera,
right?
Indestructible. Indestructible. I don't know. Does
man,
anybody
it's
else have any? I think that's my list.
Dude, I
Somebody
think we
else
covered-
has
there-
to have
Covered
some.
it all.
There was something I wanted to bring up with the periphery stuff also.
Yeah.
There
Yeah,
was
do it.
there may or may not have been a time where me and my little brother took a substance or not. And we were really into it. It was a lot. And I was looking at his face, and every time my heart beat, his face would change colors. And light and frequencies and all that. That just,
So that probably so when I meditate and I get into that deep meditation and I can see that wheel, it'll start to form, but I can't look at it with my direct vision. So it was that like a time where you looked at him in the peripherals, because as long as you're looking through the peripherals, that wheel will grow and grow and grow. But the second that you focus right onto it, it's back to nothing.
I think I might have been looking through him. You know,
Yeah.
like the.
Yeah, I get that.
I feel
So-
you, man.
I think
But,
that's kind of the situation.
Yeah, I mean, the last couple times that I've done any sort of hallucinogenics, I kind of taken it like the spiritual route, and I go into a room alone and I meditate, and man, it's a different trip. I'll tell you
Yeah,
that much,
no.
because you're creating everything in your mind. You're still seeing a whole bunch.
So, have you experienced being able to see the wave, like coming, like if you're sitting in a dark room and you're just focusing on what you're looking at in here? I've been able to see, like, say 45 minutes in, I've been able to see the colors way off in the distance in my head.
Oh, dude, I can see the colors close up now.
Well, yeah, I know, but like you can see. Well, I guess now you can see them
Yeah,
just
so-
without anything else.
Yeah, so what starts off is the way that I progressed was it was like first white lights that you could see, and then the orbs got bigger, and then it was like white and blue, and then recently I started getting like those green blue spindles everywhere, but you could see like I don't know if it would be like the ether or whatever, if you ever like the way that you would picture the ether in the air, like where it's kind of like a mist or whatever. I can see that when I meditate.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. Kind of like the James Bond movies with the lasers and the lasers going through the smoke.
Right.
Kind of like that, I guess.
I also don't know what to fucking do with that. You know,
I didn't know I could get there.
It's like I can make it happen, but I have no idea why.
You're like, all right, show me a sign. What are they?
Yeah.
Ready for the level up.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man. Well, I gotta say, it's been an absolute pleasure. And
hell yeah, dude, this is
I'm
cool.
so glad that like I saw that video and I was just like, oh, it's so good. And apparently Ted was right there. He's like, I saw it too. We got to get a hold of this.
You can just feel people's vibes sometimes. You can just feel it.
Yeah.
You know, when they're real.
Man.
And again, maybe you're not always right, but you're always honest. You always say what you believe.
Like he said.
And
man.
I say that I don't know what I'm talking about. Don't trust me. Don't trust anyone. Trust your intuition.
Yep.
That's right.
I
Yes,
agree.
sir.
So is there anything you want to, like, if for our steady 400 followers and watchers, what's the most important thing you want to tell them? What's the most important message you want to get across to people?
Man, see, for me, there's really not anything because I feel like it's a personal journey for everyone. And if someone tries to expedite their journey, then it's not their journey, it's your journey. So just do you.
That's so
awesome, man.
Way to kill it and make me look dumb. Thank you.
ConsciouSean by the name is much more enlightened than we all are.
Everybody,
we appreciate your time, man.
Go to TikTok.
So
follow ConsciouSean. If obviously,
tell them where to find you. Again,
sure,
so some people listen in the beginning, some people pay attention in the end. Tell everybody where to find you again.
Yeah, ConsciouSean, you can find me. I got that name on TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. I don't really post on YouTube. There's so much to post on.
Yeah.
I'm there.
We're on our second strike, so we'll see what happens with that.
I got my first.
Ooh.
I got my first.
Yeah.
Gotta be careful. Well, I appreciate talking to you guys because I don't really get to talk to anyone much. I'm usually just here talking to myself, so I was glad I could
man.
Dude, you're welcome back whenever you want. If anything ever comes up where you're like, oh my God, I want people to hear this, hit one of us up. We'll put it aside and we'll do a special episode with you. You're awesome, man. I appreciate
Hell
it.
yeah.
Yeah, dude, we'll stay in touch, man.
Thanks for having me on.
Fade it
Thanks
out.
again, bro.
So awesome. Thank you so much, man. This was so cool.
Yeah, for taking that time, dude.
Do something about the doorbells. Do something about the doorbells, man. I want to see something on that. People gotta know. That's where it came from. Fuck your Ring doorbell. This is why it happened.
Yeah, I'll look into it for sure.
And I love just the little jabs that you do too, like in your videos. You know what I mean? And it's like, come on, fam. Oh, negative. Like,
you have a good vibe. You have a good vibe. People,
great vibe, man.
People who have never looked into what you're saying, they feel your energy. Just keep doing what you're doing, man. We appreciate it. It's amazing. Keep doing it. It's awesome.
I will. I appreciate y'all.
All right, thanks, Sean. Guys, thank you. It's been beautiful. We'll see you soon.
All right, man. Peace.
Thanks.
Right,
Later.